Good morning, grade 10 Aphrodite. Alright, it's my pleasure to be with you all and welcome to another session of our English subject. So to formally start our class with an essence of refreshment and enlightenment, we encourage everyone to please stand for our prayer. In the name of the Father, the Son, and of the Holy Spirit, Amen. Amen. In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen. Okay, class, before you sit, so kindly pick up all the pieces of paper under your chair. Okay. Keep it for the meantime. So you can put it in your pocket or even in your bags. And also keep the alignment of your chairs in a proper way, so that you can comfortably sit yourselves. Right? So make sure to secure your area neat and clean. And also, before we start class, so isn't it a beautiful morning to you? Alright, so okay, before I forget, how does everyone deal with the challenges this past few days? You can raise your hand if you feel confident to share. Okay, I see everyone shows enthusiasm with themselves today. So before we go through, I want to hear from this class two representatives to speak about their short life testimonies. So may I have Mr. Warren? Very good. Now how about Miss Monte? The back. Very good. Thank you so much. Let's all give them a big round of applause. So I hope everyone today feels fine and comfortable and are ready also to grasp new insights in connection to English concepts. As we continue, let me check the attendance first. When I call your name, say present and share one adjective that describes yourself. Am I clear, class? Very good. From the boys, may I have Mr. Homer Alstead? Present. Mr. Simon Gore? Present. Mr. Clifford Fraud? Present. Mr. James Ingram? Present. Mr. Michael Jordan? Present. Mr. Kevin Lau? Present. Mr. Mark Lloyd Montalia? Present. Mr. Scotty Thompson? Present. Rick Warren? Present. And lastly, from the boys, Min Yao. Present. From the girls, we have Miss Sheena Abiar. Present. Miss Kathleen Bernardo. Present. Miss Laura Fernandez. Present. Miss Gladys Lustre. Present. Miss Faye Monte. Present. Miss Angel Panganiban. Present. Miss Robin Poe. Present. Miss Christine Reyes. Present. And lastly, Miss Megan Young. Present. Right. So, okay, I see that everyone shows a perfect attendance and no one is absent for today. So I'm sure that you all felt inspired to read our new topic, just like I asked, right? Right. So as a sort of reminder, by the way, class, during our period, I want everybody to listen carefully with my rules and regulations. So the first one is to listen when the teacher is talking. You're in front. Second, follow the directions carefully. Third, raise your hand if you want to say something. Fourth, respect yourself and other people. And lastly, alright, be attentive. So that was my 5 rules and regulations. Do you understand, class? Okay, right. So at this juncture, let us have a short recap of our previous topics. So does anyone want to share what our lesson from the previous topic all about? Okay, Mr. Yao is raising his hand. Go ahead, dear. Very good. It is all about 7 literary standards. So does anyone still remember the 7 literary standards? Alright, may I have Ms. Reyes? Go ahead, dear. Thank you so much. Very good. So everyone, take note that the 7 literary standards, what Ms. Reyes mentioned, are the universality, artistry, intellectual value, suggestiveness, spiritual value, permanence, and style. Very good. I know every one of you have excited for our next interesting topic. But before we proceed to our discussion proper, we will have first our introductory game called the 4 Picks, 1 Word. Seems familiar, isn't it, class? Okay. But before we start, for our mechanics, may I have those students with the first letter on their last name begin with A to H to form one group there, the group 1. From I to P as the group 2, and lastly the group 3 from Q to Z. So you may now proceed to your respective groups without dragging your chairs in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Stop. Alright, very good. Once you are in your group, take note of the following mechanics. Everyone must participate, of course, attentively, and should listen to the instruction as it will be repeated twice by the teacher. Each student must pay attention to every 4-bit illustration, and you will be given 20 seconds to those groups who raise their hands first to say the correct word or term. A group representative from the first who raises his or her hand is encouraged to stand and say the exact word in front of the class for validation if it's correct or not. And also, the group who answered correctly will garner 5 points as part of collaborative oral overall participation and also intended to answer once again. So if the first group cannot guess the word or term, chances are given to the other group who have not yet knowledge. So asking from the other group is given also if it exceeds 20 seconds. All are recorded as part of the performance. And are you all ready? If I say energy check, you will say yes, yes, yes. Energy check. Energy check. Energy check. Alright. So I hope everyone is ready. Okay, maybe some of you have seen the answers. So for this, here is a four-piece one word. Guess me. Number one. Group 2. Is point of view the correct answer? Alright, point of view is the correct answer. Next. Group 1. Resolution. Is resolution the correct answer? Alright, number 2 is resolution. Very good. Next. Group 3. Conflict. Right, is conflict the correct answer? Alright, conflict. Next. Group 3 once again. Setting. Is setting the correct answer? Okay, setting. Next. Group 2. Is plot the correct answer? Let's see. Okay, plot. Number 6. Group 1. Right, characters. Is characters correct answer? Right, very good. Characters. Number 7. Group 2. Theme. Is theme the correct answer, class? Alright, theme is the correct answer. I guess was the end of our 4-piece one-word game. So congratulations to all groups who answered, and thank you so much. So alright. So now that we have finished our first phase assessment at this point, to make it fair for all to have an additional points, we will be having our second phase, which will be answered individually. So here is the worksheet. Worksheet number 1 for our preliminary assessment called Unlocking of Code. So for the directions, unlock the following terms by substituting the equivalent numbers for its corresponding letters. Write your answers in the blanks provided after each number. So use the number substitution software as reference. So I have the group representatives. So here is your worksheet. group 1, for group 2, and for group 3. So, for this class, so you are given only 5 minutes to answer. So, opens up. Alright, you are ready? Okay. And 3, 2, 1. You may now answer. Alright. It's the end of the 5 minutes. Stop. Opens up. Alright, thank you so much. So kindly group representatives collect our worksheets and kindly give it to me after our lecture. So, did you all enjoy our game and activity class? Okay, so now, since we've finished our preliminaries, let me ask you all, have you tried creating your own story? Very good, Mr. Jordan. So you are experienced in creating your own story. How about Ms. Fernandez? Okay, very good. How about Miss Bernardo? Have you tried creating your own story? Very good. So I guess every one of you here have experiences in crafting your own story. So I'm so very proud of you all for having that as your skills. So based on our activity class, what will be our topic for today's session? So may I have Miss Rostre. And you're definitely correct. So at this moment, we will discuss about the element of the short story. So maybe some of you have encountered about this, don't you? Okay, there are some yet encountered. So don't worry, class. I will make you understand better with this. Okay? Okay. Energy check. Energy check. Energy check. Alright. So, but before that, may I call every group representative once again to claim the copies of the parable of the Good Samaritan. So here is for group 1, for group 2, and for group 3. Right? So, are you all ready? Alright. So, yes, everyone is ready. So, but before that also, let me ask, what do you know about short story? Here I have Mr. Love. Alright, that was a comprehensive answer. Short stories are prose fiction that typically be written in one setting and focuses on a self-contained incident or series of linked incidents with the intent of evoking a single effect or mood. So, examples of that is a story about Blue Blood of the Biggest Tana, Swaddling Clothes, and most especially the Hunsoy Sungsungan Usab that was written in our own vernacular language. So out of the concept being mentioned about short story, so it also encompasses 6 basic elements. So just like what you have answered earlier in in our Lucky of Code and introductory game. It involves the setting, characters, the plot, conflict, the point of view, and the game. Okay, so are you now ready? Very good. So let me present my screen. So, elements of a short story. The first one was, before that, here are the table of contents. So, a setting, characters, plot, conflict, point of view, and the game. The first element is the setting. When we say about setting, it involves the time and place. Very good. So may I have Miss Fernandez to please read the definition of the setting? Very good. So it is the time and place during which the story takes place. So setting also is the context in a scene or story that describes the elements in which a story takes place. So it involves three questions to be answered. So first, when did it happen? Second, where does it take place? And lastly, what's the social climate? So here are the sample details that describe a setting. First is the time of day and year, weather, scenery, and dialects. Very good, class. And now is the functions of a setting. So setting has 5 functions. So may I have Mr. Warren to please read the 5 functions of a setting. Very good. So the first one, create a mood or atmosphere. The second one, show a reader in a different way of life. Third, make action seem more real. Fourth, source of conflict or struggle. And lastly, symbolize an idea. So very good. So I hope everyone will take note of this in order for you all to have enough knowledge in answering our practical assessment later on. So next. So mood. Mood is also part of a setting. So before we proceed, so may I have Miss Bernardo to please read the definition of the mood. Very good. So mood is the feeling that the author tries to convey throughout the story. So in the last part of the presentation there, it is written that often mood is conveyed by the story's setting. So that's why mood has a direct relationship in identifying a setting. Very good, class. Now let's proceed to another element, which is the characters. So I have Mr. Moore to read the definition of characters. Very good. The characters refers to the person, animals, and things participating in a story. The same there, it is also fictional or even an actual characters. So as we see in the screen, so there are fictional characters just like the cartoons in the left and the Powerpuff Girls on the right. While in the middle, it involves the actual characters. So they are the representation of our national heroes, just like General Luna. To proceed, there are types of characters. So let's first tackle about the protagonist and antagonist. So when I have Mr. Alfred, to please read the definition of the two. Alright, thank you so much. So the protagonist is the main character of the story, while antagonist is the opposing force of the protagonist. So just like for example, as we see in the movie Lion King. So who among you here have heard or seen this movie? Alright. So as we identify the protagonist and antagonist, so the protagonist in the movie is Simba. Very good. While the antagonist is Scar. Very good. So here are some of the examples. So we have Superman, the protagonist, and the villain shows the antagonist. Well, Simba, as we have mentioned earlier, is the protagonist, and Scar is the antagonist. Very good. Another types of characters are dynamic and static characters. So may I have Miss Pangaliba to read the definition of the two. Alright, very good. So dynamic character is the one who evolves or changes significantly over time, in short words. While static character is the contrast of dynamic characters. Very good. So here are some of the examples in order for you to recall such concept about the dynamic and static characters. So in a portion of dynamic characters, there are two, Shrek from the movie Shrek and Drew from the movie Despicable Me. While in the other corner is the static characters, which involves Lady Tremaine from Cinderella and Dory from Finding Nemo. So please take note of that. Okay. Now let's proceed to the other set of characters, the round character and the flat character. So I have Mr. Thompson to read the definition too. Thank you so much. So round character refers to a character who has a complex personality. So just like a circle, it has no sides. So it has, just like for a round character, it has also complex personality. So they're neither overly kind nor neatly cruel. So there are changes in his or her behavior. While flat character is the opposite of the round character. So they are not described well, not given much information. So to make some examples, so here are the following. The round characters, it involves Frodo, Baggins from the Lord of the Rings, and Nemo from the movie Finding Nemo. On the other side, the flat characters, which organize a change of events in the story. So in short, it is the foundation of the entire story. So to read the definition of a plot, I have Mr. Yao. Go ahead, Mr. Yao. Okay, so in a short term, plot is the organized pattern or sequence of events that make up a story. For further information, let's tackle the 5 parts of a plot. So here they are. It involves the exposition, the rising action, climax, falling action, and the resolution. So to read the following definitions of the 5, may I have Mr. Ingram. Go ahead here. Very good. So, to make more elaboration of this definition, so here is a particular illustration to let us grasp an insight of what is the flow of a particular plot. So first is the exposition. So this usually occurs at the beginning of the short story. It is the first phase of the plot. Here, the characters are introduced, and we also learn about the setting of the story. And also, most importantly, we are introduced to the main conflict, or commonly known as the problem. Very good, class. Second, as the illustration there emphasizes, the sharp edges refers to the rising action. So this part of the story begins to develop the conflict. So it is the starting point of the conflict. A building of interest or suspense occurs and leads to the climax. And also, complications arise. And then let's proceed to the middle. The middle part is the climax. The climax refers to the turning point of the story. So usually the main character comes face to face with a conflict, and the main character will change in some way. And also it is considered as the most intense moment. Very good. Yes. Alright. And now let's proceed to the falling action. So what is a falling action? Falling action is an action that follows the climax and ultimately leads to the resolution. So after the character undergo a lot of challenges, so in the part of falling action, it introduces the particular solution. And lastly is the resolution. Very good. So the resolution involves the conclusion. All loose ends are tied up. Either the character defeats the problem, learns to live with the problem, or the problem defeats the character. So that was the 5 parts of plot. Do you understand, class? Energy check. Energy check. Very good. So now, to sum it up, to introduce you to the 3 parts of a story, so it involves the beginning, the middle, and the end. So in the beginning of the story, it involves the exposition and the rising action, while the climax is considered as the middle part, and in the end part, it involves the falling action and the resolution. Alright, let's now proceed to the other one, which is the conflict. To read the definition, I have Mr. Mutalian. So let me stand Mr. Mutalian. Very good. So conflict is the dramatic struggle between two forces in a story. So without conflict, class, there is no plot. So in a short term, or to make it short, conflict refers to a clash between two opposing forces that creates narrative thread for a story. So conflict involves two different types: the external conflict and the internal conflict. So when we say about external conflict, it is the outside force, maybe a person, a group, animal, nature, or a non-human obstacle. While on the other hand, the internal conflict, it takes place in a character's mind. So there are different types of external conflict. First, as we see there in the screen, man versus man, man versus nature, man versus society, and lastly, man versus fate. While on the other hand, the type of internal conflict rather is man versus self. Very good, class. So that was all in regards to conflict, and now let's proceed to the point of view. So when we say about point of view, very good, it determines who is telling or who is narrating the story. Very good, class. To read the definition, may I have Miss Po. Can you please stand here and go ahead? Okay. So point of view refers to also as the eye or narrative voice through which you tell a story. So as part of its type, so there are three. So the other one is included in the other slide. So first is a first person's point of view. So it is a character from the story is telling the story, and it mostly uses the pronouns I and me. I and me. Mr. Jordan, what are the pronouns used in first person? Very good. While the second point of view essentially makes the reader or viewer a character in the narrative to grow into the story. Very good. And lastly, the third person point of view. So it is the outside narrator who is telling the story. So what are the pronouns that is being used in this type of people we? May I have Miss Megan Young? Very good. It involves the he, she, and they. So, but before we proceed to the other elements, third person point of view also has its sub-category. It involves the third person limited and the third person omniscient. When we say third person limited, the narrator knows the thoughts and feelings of only one character in the story. While the third person omniscient class, he, she knows all details, all feeling or thoughts, the characters of the story. Good. And now, lastly, the theme. So kindly please read Miss Lustre, the definition of theme. Go ahead here. Thank you so much. So theme refers in general as the central or the main idea that talks about the life or the people who get across in particular literary work. And then is also, let's put it to our mind that it is the practical lesson or moral lesson we learn from a story after we read it. For example, friendship and love. And I guess it's the end of our lecture in regards to the elements of the short stories. So thank you so much. And now let's proceed to the follow-up questions that I will be throwing to you all. So let me first. Okay. And our discussion on the elements of the short story. So I have some questions. How can you identify the setting of the story? May I have Miss Monte? Very good. How about Mr. Love? What are the different types of characters? Okay, excellent. Why it is important to know the elements of a short story? I have Miss Abior. Okay, thank you so much. So, did you have any questions, clarifications, or final introduction class? Okay, I do none. So I think it's all clear. So at this juncture, after we've tackled the elements of the short story, let's now venture of what the parable of what is the Good Samaritan story all about. So with this, I will give you 10 minutes to read and reflect particular details which coincided to our discussion earlier. So, did you all receive your copies? Okay, thank you so much, especially for those group representatives. So, 10 minutes starts now. Okay, time is up. So now, we all know that the concepts of the story involves, of the short story involves